So we have talked about the financial function. Now we're gonna discuss about the logical function. Okay. In the logical functions, there are AND function, OR function, NOT function, and IF function. So what is there in AND function? This function tests two or more conditions. There are two or more conditions, and you have to see if they are all true. It can be used, this AND function, it can be used to test that a series of numbers meet certain conditions. That means they have to satisfy certain conditions. Then your OR function, this function tests two or more conditions to see if any of them is true. That means one of them, or out of four, two of them, or it's like that. If any of them is true, in the AND function all should be true, and in the OR function it is any of them is true. It can be used to test that at least one of a series of number meets certain condition or satisfies certain conditions. Then your NOT function, it can be used to test at least one of the series of a number meets certain condition, one of the series. If the test fails, the result is true, and if the test is met, then the result is false. Okay, because it is not function, so it will be opposite. In if function, this function tests a condition. Whenever we use if in English, obviously we are talking about some condition, so this function tests the condition. If the condition is met, it is considered to be true. If the condition is not met, it is considered as false. The condition is not met, okay, so it will be considered as false. Now then comes your statistical function. In statistical function, there are mode function, median function, minimum function, maximum function. Okay, so let's discuss about the mode function. What is there in mode function? It is like your this like you have studied in maths and statistics, right? Mode, this function displays the most frequently occurring number. That means the number which comes more time, right? There is a certain number, say for example 5, it has come 10 times, so and there are other numbers which have come less than 5. Okay, so this function displays the most frequently occurring number, the number which comes frequently, okay, in a group of numbers. For it to work correctly, there must be at least two numbers which are at the same. Okay, then your median, the function finds the median value of a group of values. The median is not the average, it is not the average, it is the halfway point. Okay, where half the numbers in the group are larger than it and half the numbers are less than it. If there is no exact median, then what you have to do, you will find the two nearest the halfway point, and you will add it and then find the average, and you'll get your median. Then your minimum function, min, this function picks the lowest value from a list of data. Then maximum, the function picks the highest value from a list of data. Then your, okay, so these were your statistical functions: mode, median, minimum, and maximum. So this is the question of count A, and your COUNTIF. Just forget this table, just write down what does it do and its syntax. The table is quite confusing and I don't think it is correct even. Okay, so what is count function? The count function essentially counts numbers and not add given data in a cell. It just counts the numbers, only and only numbers, and not the given data in a cell. It counts only number data and not text data. Okay, this was the function of the count. Okay, count function, right? So what about the count function? What does it do? This function counts the number of numeric entries in a list. It will ignore blanks, text and errors, and the syntax of count function. It is equal to sign, count, range 1, range 2, range 3, and through to range 30. Then comes your count A function. So what is count A function? In this, it counts all the cells but not the blanks. It will only count the filled cell, even if the cell is filled with the space. It will count only the filled ones and not the blanks. This is the function of count A function. Okay, so your count A function, what does it do? This function counts the number of numeric or text entries in a list. It will ignore blanks, and the syntax is very simple, is equal to count A, range 1, range 2, range 3, and through to range 30. And just ignore this table, please. This is quite Absurd, I don't know. Then your COUNTIF function, what does it do? The function counts the number of items which match criteria set by the user. And the syntax is equal to COUNTIF, range of things to be counted, criteria to be matched. Okay. So this was about the statistical, logical and your financial functions, then your count, counting and COUNTIF function. Now let us discuss one more question, that is your ratio analysis. Okay, so this is also the important question which is frequently asked from part B. Define ratio analysis and write formulas for current ratio and liquidity ratio by giving examples. So your ratio analysis. A ratio analysis is a quantitative analysis of information contained in company's financial statements. Company's financial statements like balance sheet, cash flow statement, etc. It is used to evaluate various aspects of company's operating and financial performance, such as company's liquidity, company's profitability. Okay, ratios are also compared across different companies in the same sector, and your ratio analysis is helps you to get an idea of comparative valuations. Okay, now your current ratio. Current ratio is a ratio of current asset to current liabilities and also called working capital ratio. You must have studied this in class 12. Then your calculation, how do you calculate current ratio? The current ratio is calculated by dividing current asset by current liabilities. The ratio is calculated on the basis of given formula. This current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liabilities. Then your current assets. Current assets are those assets which can be converted into cash within a year. Current liabilities, the liabilities which are to be paid within a year. And then your liquidity ratio, the ratio that shows the relationship between quick assets or liquid assets and your current or liquid liabilities. And how do you calculate this? Liquid ratio is equal to current assets minus stock minus prepaid expenses upon current